What up, guys? It's Josh from Cardfight Empire. Also now from Let's Plays Animes. I'm at the airport unexpectedly. I did not expect to be riding at the airport today. I actually had someone cancel on me for the big tournament that I'm going to, so I had to buy a last-minute plane ticket. So kind of unfortunate, but kind of fun because I get to be in the airport today. I love this airport, Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, and I get to ride on an airplane. So we got our little plushies from Japan, and yeah, we are ready to go. I'll record more when I get through to the terminal or when I'm sitting down or whatever, but yeah, I'll catch you guys then. Peace. What up, guys? It's Josh again. You know, they always have to stop us at security because you know, we always put all of our stuff down, and then they look at us as we come through the thing. They look up and down. They're like, I'm gonna need you to step over to the side so I can pat you down, get a little feel of the goods, you know what I mean? But I'm just joking. They did pull me over because I always forget a stupid change bag that's inside my bag that I took to Japan, got from Japan, whatever. But yeah, they pretty much always stop me for that. So that's just on me. I'm stupid. I forgot. But we are through to the terminal. I'm walking to the gate right now. I don't know why. Every time, I talked about this in my Japanese vlog as well, but like literally every time I have a terminal, it's like all the way at the end of the gate, like not at the very beginning when I get off the escalator. So maybe I'm just cursed. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get some food. I'm a little early here, which is funny because I was running late. So, fun fact. Did you guys know that everything in Atlanta, Hartsfield-Jackson, pretty much every airport, sorry, I had to fix my glasses, but pretty much everything in the airport is freaking expensive as hell. But it's so funny because, you know, like I bought this yogurt and this smoothie, and pretty much the guy looked me in the eyes and was like, I was like, how much is a bottle of water? He's like, $4.50. And I'm like, no. And I was like, can I just get this smoothie and this small thing of yogurt? And he's like, that'll be $15. And I'm like, what? But I still bought it, so, you know, airport makes their money when they make their money, I guess. All right, guys, we're about to get on a plane shortly after I eat this yogurt, so we'll see you on the plane. What's up, guys? I made it to Philadelphia. It's awkward as airport. But we're grabbing our bag here. Met some plane friends, Imani.
Leave Zoe, you know,
and
the
Leaf.
biggest.
But yeah, we're just grabbing our bag and then we're meeting up with Sarah. Sarah should be picking us up, so then we're gonna prepare for the tournament tomorrow. Probably eat some food, and when we do that, I'll probably make another vlog bit. So you guys will see me then, and I'll catch you then. Bye. Hey, what up, guys? We're back in the hotel, not our hotel. We're in Sarah's hotel. So, oh yeah, look at me. I can't even press the freaking elevator button efficiently. Still didn't do it that time. But anyways, yeah, we're in the freaking hotel. I'm playtesting with Sarah and her crew, her squad, helping them deck build and stuff like that. So we're headed back to the room, and when we do, I will introduce them on the vlog bit. Stay tuned. And we're back. Sarah's on the floor, fixing her deck. And we got the squad in here. Everybody's tired as fuck. I'm tired.
It's almost
of
2.
a lot.
Hurry up and playtest.
Dang, I'm being forced to playtest. See how they treat me.
You have no choice.
You see how they treat me.
You have no choice in the matter.
You have no choice.
Wait, where's my start?
Man, Sarah didn't know what I bet means. I bet.
What does that mean?
That'll come in handy later.
I know, right? It's gonna be like... What up, guys? It's literally 2, 3 in the morning, something like that. Got my deck list, got my bags. Just finished playtesting with Sarah and her group. About to head back to my actual hotel now so that I can probably not even sleep. I don't know why I'm gonna lie to myself and say that I'm gonna sleep, but I might even try to sleep. Let's just put it into, let's speak it into existence. But I usually don't sleep before tournaments because I get antsy, nervous, anxious, etc. But yeah, so let's say that we're gonna try to sleep, and I will possibly see you guys in the morning or back when we get to our hotel. All right, bye. What up, guys? As I told you guys, we literally have not slept. It is like 5 a.m. I spent like extensive hours staying up to fix my deck and all that crap. So we did get back to the main hotel room. Our hotel room is pretty big. It's pretty awesome because our roommate got the hookup. So yeah, as you can see over here, I've been up doing the deck, and I'm probably gonna go to sleep pretty soon just so I can get like an hour or two of sleep, and then we'll see you guys at breakfast. Yeah, breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today's the day. Tournament time. About to roll in here, hot and rested, quote unquote. Yeah, unless we're going down to breakfast right now, so I'm going down to meet Junior at the lobby for breakfast. And yeah, I'll catch up with you guys a little later. Peace. Yo, what up, guys? We made it finally to the ARG. We got like really screwed over by some bad directions to the event. We almost went the completely wrong way and got wrong directions and all that stuff. But we made it to the event. Mr. David here. He had our backs. Had our backs so that we don't get like DQ, no prize. Like after all the work, I was like literally after all the work that I put into to come to this freaking event, that would have been so bad.
I got here like early to make sure that I was.
But I'll check in with you guys on the next vlog. What up, guys? So we're in round 3, 4.
That was 3.
3's over. Now it's
3's over. Sarah's playing Oracle Gize, being shy, but she plays a savage deck. Like what is life? But anyways, I won. Well, okay, so I had a 1-round bye, and I forgot about that 1-round bye. So yeah, I had a 1-round bye, and then I lost my second game because I played against Wiseman Luke. I did not expect that like at all. And I won game 1 because I stunned his Vanguard. He couldn't ride or anything. And then game 2, he had the perfect setup. And then game 3, we just went in a time, and I just lost in time. And then the game I played against Royal Paladin, stunned his Vanguard once in both games, and he couldn't restand, so we just 2-0'd that game. He was a really nice guy, though. But yeah, I will check in with you guys on the next round. What up, guys? We're now in the mall after day 1. I stopped recording because I got super sad at a point. I lost. Sarah over here freaking made top 16. Scumlord. Well, yeah, we're traveling to the mall now. I'm still gonna be here for like 2 more days, so I guess I might as well enjoy it as I can. I feel like I wasted money and let down everyone who helped me get here, but yeah, I don't know. I'm being told not to worry about it. Try not to worry about it, but I will catch you guys on the next vlog a bit. Peace.
What did you say?
Hey guys, it's Josh from Cardfight Empire here today to talk to you guys. Sorry if it's a bit loud in the background. I'm at one of my locals right now. Here to talk to you guys though about the ARG Nationals. The event, just talk about kind of everything involving the event. I don't want to make this video too long, but I do want to squeeze in all the details as efficiently as possible, so to speak. So going up, a lot of you might have known about like the trip going up. It was pretty hectic. We had someone like cancel out like last moment of the trip. They didn't tell anyone else that was involved with the trip. So basically, I personally got screwed because I was supposed to ride with this person from Georgia to North Carolina, and then we were supposed to ride with someone else from North Carolina to Pennsylvania. The North Carolina person still pulled through. His name is Junior Dorson, I believe. He's part of Team 8 for Yu-Gi-Oh! He plays Yu-Gi-Oh! So he was a really good friend throughout the entire trip, so shout out to him. I even had to stay at his apartment on his army base for like a day when I came back because I was like stuck in Carolina. Was stuck in North Carolina, but thank you to all you guys who helped me get out to the tournament, even though I did not perform as well as I might have hoped.
I still, you know, had a lot of fun. I met a lot of new people there, got a lot of new faces, good interactions with people. The tournament was really well run this year, so shout out to ARG for that. I know last year I had some problems with the event, so I'm glad that I went this year and it wasn't a rerun of last year. I didn't fight any like scum lord opponents, so to speak, so all my opponents were pretty cool. So it wasn't like a big deal at all. It was basically just like how the problem this time was actually on my own behalf of just like, I guess, trusting other people a little too much as far as, you know, transportation and stuff, and not having a backup plan. That's definitely something that I learned from the future now, is like always have a plan B, because like I was literally so screwed when that person canceled and didn't let us know or anything. So but yeah, just to talk a little about the actual event itself. We woke up in the morning. I had like that mini vlog. For those of you who haven't checked out the mini vlog, I might put it in the beginning of this video. I probably will put it in the beginning of this video actually. So if you got to this part of the video, you probably already seen the mini vlog. So basically, there was a point where we were leaving from breakfast in the hotel to go to day one of ARG, and when we went to day one of ARG, ironically, when the tournament was at this place called the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center, and there's a Greater Philadelphia Expo Center and a Greater Philly Expo Center in Philly. So the Yu-Gi-Oh player in the car, like Junior, actually put in the Greater Philly Center, and we started driving like 40 minutes in the wrong direction when our hotel was like 15 minutes from the venue, and we thought that we were catching traffic and all this stuff, so it was like 40 minutes out. And so then when we realized that we were going the wrong direction, because I was like, this doesn't look familiar from last year, all that stuff. So we started driving the wrong direction, and then we're like super late, and we have to like come back from like downtown Philadelphia all the way to the venue, drive past the hotel and drive to the venue. I actually had a good friend, David Senekasov. Sorry if I murdered your last name, but David, he really looked out for me. He, you know, called me. He's like, "What's up? Where are you? I know you have a one-round bye, like, etc., etc. I'll try to talk to these people, get you squared away in the tournament so that you're good." So shout out to David for that. So we ended up making it to the tournament in the middle of round one, where I had a bye, and I wanted to scout people to see what decks people were playing and stuff, which really wouldn't have helped me in the long run of things, because this is Vanguard. Like, I don't have a side deck or anything that I can start thinking about. Like, it's really only my main deck. I can think about how to play against people, but really I didn't get any time to scout during round one, because I got there near the end of round one. So I had a round one bye. Round two, I actually fight Sean. I think his last name is Cushing. So Sean, I met him last year. He's a pretty cool dude. He was playing Wiseman Loop, Angelic Wiseman Loop. So I played machinings, first of all, going to this event, like pure unbased machinings. Like, I thought it would be really good to stun my opponent's Vanguard, and if they can't ride, then, you know, that's good for me, because they're striding into a rested stride. And then if they can't ride or stride, then they literally just have to attack with rear guards and pass turn, or just pass turn if they don't have rear guards. So a lot of times in my playtesting before this event, like, I locked my opponent down completely. They couldn't do anything to re-ride or anything. So it definitely locked them down, and I got that experience. So I was like, okay, this will probably be really good to take into the tournament. But I literally had no idea about the meta game that I'd be coming into up there. I thought that I'd be playing against Royal Paladin and OTT, but I played against all of this stuff that wasn't Royal Paladin and OTT. So I basically got screwed by just like a bad meta call, in my opinion. So I played, you know, pure base machinings. So round one bye. Round two, Angelic Wiseman Loop. Game one, I stunned him out of his Vanguard when he rode Fenrir, and he couldn't re-ride for the rest of the game, and he couldn't make a strong column with his Wiseman, so I literally just ended up winning that game off of stunning him, and he couldn't attack with his Vanguard the whole game, so I just ended up winning that way. Game two, his early soul charges were like 3 Taros and a Gelja, so I just got screwed by that. Like, pretty good soul charging on his part. It's, you know, luck based, but he got the full combo off with Wiseman Loop. I couldn't do anything about it. I just lost that game. Game 3, we went into time, and then I was actually ending my turn as they called time, so that counted as my turn 0, and then Sean got turn 1, then turn 2, then turn 3, and on turn 3, Sean did like the infinite loop with Wiseman, and he made like 108, and it was gonna attack for like 12 times, 108, so I couldn't guard it, didn't have a lot of guard in my hand, and I just lost in time, like straight up lost. So now we're 1-1 technically in round 2. Round 3, I fight a Royal Paladin player. I cannot remember his name, don't kill me, but he was really, really, really nice. We played a game 1 and a game 2. I stunned out his Vanguard and his Blaster Blade with a Machining Destroyer, this card right here. So I stunned out his Vanguard and his Blaster Blade whenever he made columns, and he just couldn't re-ride or stride for like basically both of the games. And when he did, I just stunned, like in game 2 when he re-rode, I just literally stunned him again, and then he couldn't re-ride because he used the combo with the Royal Paladin deck where he re-rides a bunch of times. So basically when he did that play, he's taking grade 3s out of his deck, which is helping me because I survive his turn, and then I stun his Vanguard, and he basically doesn't have a grade 3. So I just won that, so I'm 2-1 now. Round 4, I fight against a Victor player. He was also really nice. I also don't remember his name, but he was wearing like a mask type thing. He was really cool. I ended up winning game 1 and game 2 against him just because I stunned his whole board except for Golshachi, and there was a point where he would have been able to GB8, but he had a top deck, and so since he had a top deck, he either had to ride a grade 3 or stride, and he didn't top deck a grade 3, so he only top decked stride fodder, so it was pretty much like a throwaway game for him because, you know, he would stride and not be able to do anything except for Victor on stride skill, and at that point I have like 16 to 20 cards in my hand, so it's like, you know, just a mute point at that point. So now I'm 3-1. Round 5, I think it is. Yeah. Round 5, I fight against Kevin, Angel, the one that I did the deck profile with. Really nice guy. I was really caught off guard by his deck because going into this event, I did not know about the Trois-Ange deck. So of course I was just, you know, giving him that first turn damage and really just screwing myself over. And then after game 1, I learned what his deck could do. It was super powerful, super fast. And so I pretty much had to play on the fly, which I'm good at adapting, but I wanted to adapt the strategy for game 2, which involved me going first. So I went first game 2, but then game 2 I didn't have a grade 1. So I literally got grade locked and didn't have a grade 1, so it just went the same way as game 1 did after that. Game 2 went the same way as game 1, and I basically just ended up losing 2-0 to Kevin. I was really sad about it because I felt like I should have been more prepared for this event. That was like the first moment in this tournament where I felt I should have been more prepared. Wiseman, I kind of just considered that like a random off chance that I got that because Sean was the only Wiseman player in the whole tournament. And I don't think anyone else was playing this Trois-Ange deck during the tournament. I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But Kevin's definitely really, really good at the deck. I was really caught off guard by it, and I definitely just straight up took a L to that deck. So at this point, we're 3-2 now. And so we have 2 more rounds left, round 6 and round 7, and I'm told that if I win the last 2 rounds, I can make top 16 still. So then I'm like, you know, pumped to go into round 6, and then round 6 is like none other than, I was looking at all the tables that lost, and there was a lot of Royal Paladin players, a lot of OTT players that lost, so I was like, please let me get one of those as the matchup, and then I didn't, and I fought Coral. So every time that I would stun out Coral, like it's Bermuda, so they just bounce all their cards to their hand. They don't care about any stuns that I do on rearguard. And then when I stun his Vanguard, all he would do is re-ride new Coral, shove a card into Soul, draw 2 cards, which only makes his Coral Soul deeper. And it really just hurts me because I'm like, you know, using these resources to stun his Vanguard, and he's just attacking me for like 50, 40, 40, 40, 39, 50, 50, 50, a million times, and like this deck specifically cannot handle that deck. So I just lost to that, and then round 7 I fought against Oracle Gize. It ended up just being a draw. I really didn't feel like playing after that point, to be honest, just because I was really upset by my performance in the event. But yeah, we just ended up making it a draw because I ended up, you know, being like, hey dude, you can have the win if you want. And he's like, oh, why don't we play? And we played 1-1, and then at that point I just didn't feel like playing anymore. So and we were also like going into time, so he was like, let's just make it a draw. And we made it a draw. So I ended up placing like pretty poorly, like around 40th or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. I might be higher than I'm giving myself credit for, but I'm pretty sure it was like in the 40s of placement. It was pretty bad. But a lot of you messaged me and you wanted to know what I was playing, and you wanted to know like my build and what I was kind of playing into the event with, like as far as my mindset. So I just want to let you guys know that. And then I also have my build right here too. I haven't changed it since I got back home. So we can just go over my list right now, if you guys are ready. Alright guys, so first we're going to start with our starter, Machining Worker Ant. This is the new card from Standard. Machining Worker Ant, literally very simplistic, just allows you to draw a card when you ride it. I usually called it out when I needed a booster with Machining Stag Beetle here, so it was pretty good. Like, I just kept it in my soul, like helped me draw a card, and also if I fought against like any control deck like I had planned to, like Kagero especially, like it would have just been able to keep my starter in the soul and not have it there for my opponent to snipe or do anything to it. Moving on to the G Zone, we have 2 of the GB8 Tyrantus. So basically, the reason why I ran 2 GB8, I had a lot of people asking me why I ran 2 GB8 and not a Zoa. First of all, I didn't run Zoa because this isn't a Zoa deck. Like, Zoa is really bad in this deck, in my opinion, because you just want to kind of attack your opponent with columns and go through the motions. But the GB8 has a really good pressure with MK2 and especially Princess, because if you use it with Princess and you meet all the conditions, it's basically like a Crayon Tiger that's like standing your rearguard column. So your rearguards are pretty big, and then you're attacking with your Vanguard, seeing if you hit a trigger, stacking on the card that's not Princess, unless you have 2 Princesses on the field, which is also good because of the new once per turn ruling. So you can attack Princess, 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 Princess. So whenever you check a trigger, you literally swing with GB8 first, stack your triggers on one side, or both sides if you have 2 Princesses. If you don't have 2 Princesses, stack your triggers on whatever side is not the Princess, and then you attack with that column super big with trigger stack, attack with Princess, into the battle, Princess restands the other rearguard, and then you attack again. So pretty good. Then we ran 4 Machining Despot. So what Despot did is it helped us stun our opponent's Vanguard. Basically says counterblast 1 and turn a card face up in your G zone, which we ran 3 Machining Destroyer as well as the combo piece for that. Whenever we had to flip a card in our G zone, whether it be for Overwhelm or for Despot, we basically just flip Destroyer because it's useful to have a machining card face up in the G zone. So Machining Despot just allows us to stand our own rearguards, equivalent to how many face-up machining cards we have in the G zone. So if I'm going into a first stride, if my opponent just has their Vanguard and 1 rearguard, or just their Vanguard, I can go into Despot for first stride and stun their board while also standing one of my cards, which helps again because of Machining Stag Beetle, having those rested cards out. Then we have Machining Destroyer. Machining Destroyer was my first stride whenever my opponent had basically 2 or more rearguards on the board. This card just allows us to counterblast 1 machining card, and as long as we have 4 rearguards with machining in its name, then we can stun one of our opponent's rearguards, and we can stun their Vanguard too. So it allows you to get those Vanguard stuns off from the get-go and catch your opponent off guard, and if they don't have a grade 3, it can really screw them over in the long run of things. Then we ran 2 Overwhelm. Overwhelm was basically just for either A, those times where stunning them just wouldn't be effective, like against Kagero if we're playing against Overlord, and I know that they have like a crap ton of Overlords in their hand. I'm not going to keep stunning them so they can keep rewriting. Like, I'm just wasting resources to do that, so I'd rather just Overwhelm and plus. And also Overwhelm is just good as, you know, if you can't get to the GB8, your opponent has a lot of cards counterblasted in their counterblast zone, then you can also use this like it's the GB8, because it'll start giving a lot of power to your rearguards, which is really, 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 really good. Also, Overwhelm is just, you know, very useful for drawing cards if you need to, like, stall out the game a little more. If you're behind, you need to get a little more advantage to keep yourself afloat. Overwhelm is good for that as well. Moving on to our G Guardians, we ran 2 of the G Flip Guardian, which is Relish Lady. Relish Lady, basically, we would only use it as a double G Guard. So basically, like, we would double G Guard, or we would use these first, our Morphosians, and then we would later use Grice Force and one of our Relish Lady at the same time. But ideally, I would use one Morphosian and then later double G Guard and flip these so that I can draw 2, countercharge 2, and soul charge 2. And you also want to use it in a position where your opponent would not want to rest their cards, because otherwise they're just going to be like, oh, rest, you know, and I'll just do whatever I want now. You can't do anything to me. Morphosian basically just says if your opponent has 2 or if your opponent has 2 or less rear guards in stand, then this card gets plus 10k. So it's very, very useful on their second to last attack, which is their Vanguard attack, or their last rear guard attack as well. Then we have Grice Force. Didn't really come in handy for this tournament. There's not a lot of things that, like, if you rest the back row, like, it'll stop it from happening. There was one time where I used it against Kevin to make him rest his crooks, but then he checked stand triggers and restood them anyways, so it literally wasn't even important. But we just ran it just for the possibility that it could be important. Counterblast 1, when it goes on the Guardian Circle, rest your opponent's back row, and then he gets 5,000 shield for every 2 units in rest. Then because we ran the new standard cards, we ran 4 protect markers, the machining protect markers, so pretty good. That was our extra deck pretty much. Moving on to our grade 3s, we have 4 Machining Stag Beetle. This is our standard version. So Machining Stag Beetle basically says when it's placed on Vanguard Circle, not only do you get a protect marker to your hand, so you get to add this to your hand, but you get to call out 2 cards from your soul and as rest, and then this card gets their power. The power is not really as relevant unless you're going first and you ride first and, you know, you're attacking your opponent super big. They're probably just going to take it anyways if it's that early in the game and it's that big of an attack attacking them on grade 2. They're probably just going to take it, which if you sack your opponent, could turn into a pretty bad situation for your opponent. Like you check a crit or a heal or something like that, it could really go off and start making big pressure against your opponent in a way that they don't expect. But a lot of times you just re-ride Stag Beetle every turn that you can and still stride efficiently, and then it will give you a protect marker literally every single turn that you ride it, which like helps our defenses, but also gives us machining units to work with out of the soul as well. As our backup grade 3, I ran 4 Machining Tarantula MK2. Like I said, I was expecting to fight a lot of Oracle Think Tank decks when I came into this event. So in my playtesting with Oracle Think Tank and this deck, I would just do a really long grind game with them with our protect markers and all this stuff, and I wouldn't be able to out-grind them per se, so I would always deck out when I was playtesting this deck before with another version. So I added the Legion so that when we get that late in the game, like I can still just Legion and still be stunning their Vanguard, but still be keeping up with the game and, you know, not dying to deck out, because that's my least favorite way in this game to lose. So if I'm gonna deck out, I want to like add options to counter that. Moving on to our grade 2 lineup, we have 4 Machining Mantis. Pretty much our early game card. Don't really want to use it in the late game unless we're really just like digging for a grade 3. But Mantis says when you put it on Vanguard or Rearguard Circle, counterblast 1, look at the top 6 cards of your deck, add a grade 3 to your hand, and then whether you add a grade 3 or not, it gets plus 6,000. So like I said, pretty early game card. Don't want to use it later because your counterblasts are precious in this deck. Then we have 4 Machining Mosquito MK2. This is a really good early game card against our opponent, but also a really good late game card if we can force them to somehow take this while we're on the GB8 or something. So this card says if you have a Machining Vanguard and then also all your opponent's cards are rested, which probably they will be, then this card gets 2,000, and then it also gets an on-hit skill that says when it hits, you can stand in another one of your Machining rear guards, and then you can stun one of your opponent's units. So a lot of times I could like stun my opponent's starter when I hit with this in the early game, and so then that would make their next attack without a boost because they don't want to call over their starter most of the time. And so when they would attack without a boost, I would just guard for like a 10k 2 to pass, which was really, really efficient in a lot of my playtesting games and at the actual ARG. To avoid taking early damage from like Royal Paladin and other shenanigans like that. So then we ran 4 Machining Princess. Machining Princess, like I said, absolute MVP of the deck as far as like aggression. Once your opponent starts getting to that high damage, this acts as your Crayon Tiger of the deck. But it also, its first skill is more useful than people think because you're able to just rest it at any point, give 3k to something. So a lot of times, if I have 2 of these out in my front row in the early game, which is actually a lot more frequently than people would think, then you can rest 1. Like, let's say that your opponent's a 12k Vanguard as well. You can rest 1 and give this one 3k so that this one is at least able to hit. And that way you don't have to commit cards from your hand. And then you can also use this for Death Spot because Death Spot requires that your cards need to be resting already to be stood for the stun effect. And then also to round out our grade 1 or grade 2 lineup, we just ran 1 Machining Hornet MK2. This is literally not used for the skill at all. We just run it for Legion, and we only ran 1 because we want to perform Legion successfully so that we can get those stuns off, which is really good in playtesting. And then for our grade 1 lineup, we ran more Hornets, but this is the standard Hornet. So this is Machining Hornet standard, basically just like the previous Mantis. So really good early game card. My favorite thing to do with this deck is go second, because if I have like 1 or 2 of these, like God forbid I have 2, but I ride and I draw a card from Worker Ant, and then I swing for either 8 if I don't have another one, or 16 if I do. My opponent usually no guards it, and then I get to check top 6 for a grade 3 added in my hand, and if it's on the rear guard, put it into the soul. So on the turn 1, when you ride this and you don't call anything else, your opponent lets it hit, that's a free check top 6 for a free +1 to your hand in the form of a grade 3. Also, if you put 2 Hornet to, a lot of times I'll check top 6, add it in my hand, and then add check top 6, get a grade 3, and then add this one to the soul. If they're playing Kagura or something, then it makes it out of snipe range, so your opponent cannot snipe your card away. Then we run 4 Machining Leafy. I really just didn't use the second skill ever because Death Spot just stuns the whole board, so there's no need to like stun them with a Soul Blast skill, especially when we want to use our soul to call it to the field. But we basically just used it for a stride fodder for our machining deck, since we all have machining grade 3s. And then rounding out the grade 1 lineup, we ran 4 Cricket. This was a weird choice for a lot of people because a lot of people ran like the Zoa 1 Punch, like Phantom Blacks in this card's place, but I liked Cricket not because, not only because it can rest itself and like rest one of your opponent's cards, which is really good in the early game against like blasters. If they're playing Barkle as their starter, you can literally ride and move, put Cricket from your hand onto like any of the columns that they put their Barkle, and then you can literally rest this in the early game and say stun Barkle, and now you can't use Barkle's skill next turn unless you already have, the combo piece in your hand to be able to do it, and then you're making them commit a card from hand so that they can perform their superior ride, which is really, really good. In the fact of like in the other scenario, they would just get it for free. So also it can rest itself, which along with Princess like fuels Death Spot really, really, really well. And then for our triggers, we ran all standard triggers. We ran 8 crit. So this is the new, obviously plus 10,000, 15k shield crit. We ran 4 of the draw trigger. This is just the standard draw triggers now, where they act as our PGs now. So these really helped just because, we have protect markers and we also have, regular PGs. So we have more PGs than the regular person. And whenever we hit a draw trigger, it, just fuels your PG cost instantly without you having to worry about, oh, I have to PG one of my cards that I triple drive. Like, no, you check this. It's a draw trigger, you draw a card, and you can use that card possibly as a funnel or a discard fodder for your PG. And then we just ran 4 heal. This is our heal trigger of the deck. It has 20k shield and also just helped us a lot throughout the weekend. G-guarding and such. We really only G-guard when we need to go into something special, or when, our shield needed to be a little higher. Like, worst comes to worst, if you're guarding a rear guard attack and you've already used your Morphosians, you can just play this card down as normal shield and then guard for 32. So really, really good there. But yeah, that has been the profile, and we can just move back up. But overall, like I said, the event was really well run. It was a really good weekend. Besides my whole transportation thing, which, you know, if you guys want to check out the full details and story of that, I posted, you know, something on my Facebook about it on a Facebook status. So if you guys are friends with me on Facebook, you already know what the heck's going on with this. But like I said, ARG, shout out to ARG, super good event this year. The judges did an amazing job. The head judge was Edward, same head judge from last year. He did a really, really good job. And then the secondary judge was Leo. Leo also did a very, very good job. The event was run really well. Can't, you know, speak highly about it enough. All the rounds were really efficiently run, timely manner, everything. Like literally the only problem was me making a bad meta call, and then like my transportation issues with people that I was supposed to go on the trip with. But that has been the wrap-up video for the ARG. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up on the video. It helps a lot more than you guys think. Also, be sure to subscribe, and I'm going to have everything in the description down below as far as our social medias. Also, if you like anime and gaming, be sure to check out my second channel at Let's Plays Animes. And with that being said, this has been Cardfight Empire, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace, guys.